Hi there, Robin here, and this is the Alto TS412. Now, we haven't talked about it yet because, well, there's been a lot of Alto speakers that come out all in a bunch, and we just happen to get them all at the same time. But here we are at the Alto TS412. I've already done the 415. They both have the same power output. They both have the same app, but we're going to quickly go over that app with you, and we're going to tell you why I think the difference is between the 12 and the 15, when you should buy one over the other, and when would you probably be even happier getting one versus the other. Now, the 12-inch, of course, being 12 inches smaller than the 15, so people think, well, that's good. You get all that power in a smaller package. So this speaker is going to have three distinct differences between it and the 15-inch. One, if you're using this as a monitor in front of you between 8 to 10 feet away, it is going to sound richer and fuller than the 15-inch, because the 15, the driver and the tweeter are slightly more separated, but it also takes a larger volume to get the waveform field in front of the actual 15. Good for carrying distance, but this is going to do a better job up close. Up close is another key thing when it comes to overall distance. This one here is going to get you between 25 and 35 feet before it starts tapering off when it comes to the base, where the 15-inch will get you between 35 to 45 feet and then tapering off the base. That's going to be the big difference between this and the 15-inch. So if you're dealing with smaller gigs and you're in bars and clubs, that sort of thing, this is a great speaker. If you're going to be doing outside events or large halls, then the 15-inch is a better way to go. Again, price point is just a little bit more than the other, but overall, if you pick the right speaker, it's going to be great for you. Now, Alto's not advertising their RMS neither in the manual or in the spec sheet. They do advertise the 2500, which if you look at most companies in this price range, that's pretty much what they're doing. Very few of them actually give you the RMS rating or tell you if that's peak or max. They just kind of, here's a number. But realistically, if we go historically, when it comes to Alto, you are looking at a speaker that is probably 1250 watts. 2500 peak, 1250 RMS. Sounds about right for Alto. They've changed the contours on the side of the box a little bit to give a little bit more of a curve on one side, and then basically punch out the side with the handle out a little bit more and adjust the taper on it. It just makes the speaker run a little bit better, especially when you set it up as a monitor, because the amp plate is now shifted over a little bit and the power source is opposite to the taper, which is good. Also, when it comes to the amp plate, they've done some great features. Again, I've talked about this in the past, so I'm going to repeat because it's a really great thing. The actual gain controls, the volume for channel 1 and channel 2 are set for either line or mic, not transition between the two. So this is really important when it comes to quick, easy setup. You see the line, you know where it is. If you see it's a solid white with the black writing, that's your line side. The cleared out side, that's the mic side. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. For me, I'm usually always using this in conjunction with a mixer, so I'm always running it as a line. Now, if I'm playing anything else but a microphone in it, it's also going to be considered a line. It also takes 1/4 inch and XLR. It also takes TRS and TS. These are all great things to have, and this speaker offers that all to you. It gives you some DSP features built into the speaker, and it gives you even more when it comes to the app. So with the app, you're going to be able to do all kinds of custom settings and custom features and managing groups of speakers, which is pretty awesome. But when we look at the speaker itself, we're going to see that we have options for the size of subwoofer we're going to have. Crossover connections, very important. It's going to manage that up here at the main speaker. Now, I did have this hooked up in a show for two 18-inch Harbinger subs. This ended up being the main. I did some, switching up and down, trying to decide which way I was going to get the best sound out of it. So when people ask me, should I go from the top down? Should I go from the bottom up? When you're dealing with new product, you want to start looking at different options. Try it different ways. See if you easily get better management out of the system one way versus another. In my case, this being the main source for input when it came to audio, then I came off of this and led down the rest of the chain was a better way for me to go with those subwoofers. It sounded better. It ran better. The top was much easier to manage. It was just the right choice for me. Now, the second DSP option on the back is your actual EQing of the speaker, setting up delays and all of that, and also where the crossover and contours are in the sound between the driver and the tweeter on top. You're going to have a live setting, a DJ setting, or no EQ effects at all. But again, in the app, you can customize that, which again is a great thing to be able to do. And at the same time, it allows you to manage. You can pair speakers off and do that kind of stuff. Again, with the app. Very, very fun. Now the speaker does have Bluetooth. Now I want to thank the viewer who actually gave me help with my problem, which was when I was originally doing the 415 and I was using the 412 at the same time, I was having an issue with the actual, well, communication part. It was talking to it, but it was so loud. It was just yelling at me, Bluetooth engaged, Bluetooth paired, Bluetooth synced. It was just yelling at me all the time. With this, all you got to do is when you power it up the first time you use it, before you Bluetooth to do anything, turn the knob several times down. That's counterclockwise. And it'll drop that level all the way down. You just got to remember to turn it down when you're done with it. And then you'll be fine. Especially, it was like full volume and it was just driving me nuts. But if you do that, and I've also, because here I turn everything off at night. Everything gets powered off, like unplugged, but it's done through the actual switches. It remembered what I wanted. And it remembered the next time when I turned it on to put that right back where it was. Same thing with Bluetooth. If you have the Bluetooth features off, they'll stay off the next time you turn them on. If they were on the last time you turned it off, it'll engage that Bluetooth feature again. So remember those things. Remember, you can also sync this up to another speaker. And amazingly enough, normally, I've always said this, you normally have to have two of the same make and models for the sync capability to work, not with the 412 and the 415s or any of the other 4 series. A TS4 is a TS4 when it comes to pairing up. I can pair this 12-inch to a TS408, no problem. Or I can sync it up with a 15-inch. As long as it's part of the 4 series, no problem. It just works. Now, a couple of other important things. Fly points. Got 3 fly points on it. Not a lot of speakers in this price range have fly points. I've actually, in the previous series, because I had fly points, was able to do a big install. Having 4 of these hung from the ceiling was really nice. It was a permanent installation. It looked beautiful. It was great. These are M10s, I think they are. They're more expensive because they're weight rated and they're specific so they don't fall off the ceiling. Handles at the bottom, handles at the top, engineered really well in there, bolted, secured, and it helps keep the box all together. One nice actual handle off to the side for carrying. It's not over heavy, but again, you've got 2 handles. I do like bottom handles and top because putting it on and off the actual tripod is a lot easier. Spinning it back to the front has that tapering light on it, which I think is pretty awesome. Great part of this actual metal cover, it's got a slight contour to it. The holes are honeycomb shaped. The whole thing has got a thick enough gauge on it, and it's got a dampener in the back actually glued on to the metal. This stops it from making any weird vibrating sounds, and it diffuses the sound coming through it much, much better. You're not going to have any poor quality metal vibrating sounds. Bolted on well, does a good job. It's got a rubber gasket on the side. That's all to hold it in place and keep it proper. So if you do take it off, make sure to put all the rubber gaskets back on when you put these on. This way it's going to sound great, especially if it has a small foam block. I'm not saying it does, but if it has any of these little foam blocks, you want to make sure all those stay there. They keep the speaker from making any noise. They're there for a reason. Not to forget, I promised you the app, so here we go. So I've got the app here. It's going to be up on the screen here in front of the speaker. Things you can do. Now, of course, right now you don't see the speaker. Took it off the list for you, so this way you can see. All you got to do is hit the plus button. So the idea is to scan the speaker, basically have it add on to the system. And here we go. It's asking if I want to add that Alto TS412. Look how small that picture is. I'm going to say yes, add that little speaker there. Good question. There we go. Done. Yes, that is the speaker. It is now in the setup. It is now part of the package. Now I can see the list of speakers that I have there. If I press on the TS412, now I'm going to get to see this speaker here. I get to do things like use the actual speaker in the Bluetooth functionality here. Do some adjustments, have the EQ option on the live, on the DJ. Custom is so cool. Custom, you get in the custom. When you go in there, you basically hit that EQ button, and now you can play around. You've got 6 different setups. You've got gain controls, center frequency adjustments. You also have EQ values. And watch, I'll pick one like number 4 here. It's already set. I can change the frequency setting that I want to use it for, and then I can adjust the actual gain. So we're going to go +3. So we bring up, I can go -3 and watch this will go down. See, look at that. And I can also just adjust that the way I want. Now, if I want, I can move over to number 5. Again, I can adjust the where I want to have that. I can set that up to +4. Now you're going to see it contours off other ones as well. And I can tighten it up by bringing the number higher, or I can put the swoop way out there. It's that simple. Again, I hit the number 2, go back to the beginning. I can adjust that, do as I wish. I'm messing around with this. This isn't the real setup. This is just me playing around, right? So there you go. That's all done for you. Look how, oh, that's just crazy stuff, right? So you can do all that, play around with that, load it up to the speaker when you want, easy enough. Again, you can adjust the subwoofer. Do I have a large sub, a medium sub, a small sub, no sub? No, they're not actually telling you how much power the sub is. That's not what we're talking about. Overall size, 18s, 15s, 12s. That's how it goes. Notice how they don't put a size to the actual medium size because, you know, different companies, different things, right? And there you go. And then the option, of course, to have no sub. So we'll leave that. That's the app. The app does a lot. I can also manage my Bluetooth linking capabilities. I could link this to another speaker. I do have to link it to a phone, which I do have. Then I can hit the begin button. I can choose another speaker, so I can hit that TS410 in my case. Yes, the TS410, which is still on this list. And I can connect up to that one. Now it's not turned on right now, so it's not going to connect to it. But it's as simple as that. I have at the bottom Bluetooth volume control. I can turn it up. Notice it was all the way down. That's how I stop this thing from making a lot of racket. Keep that volume down unless you're using it. And there you go. That's the app in a nutshell. It's fun. It's easy. It just works. Yes, you load it. It works on both Apple and Android devices. There's apps for both of them, and it's smooth on both of them. No worries there. And there you go. We're going to give it a sound test so you can actually hear it a little bit. But remember, it's always better for you to go down to a store or to a showroom to listen to it properly. You will definitely fall in love with the speaker for the price point, for the weight, for the ease of use. Great way to go. Now remember the Bluetooth, though you can easily sync between two speakers, you cannot connect any analog XLR cable out of it and run a subwoofer. I have not figured out how to do that. I've had the same problem come up several times. I've had people comment on the speakers asking me, and I'm going to say it. No, you can't, unless I actually end up putting an asterisk at some point. If you're hearing me say this, it's not. Maybe they'll change it in the future, and in which case I'll have a video called How to Get Your Subwoofer to Work with an Alto TS4 with Bluetooth. Until that video comes out, we're going to say no. Now remember, the pole is slightly offset, so when you put it on the pole, it's going to want to sit crooked a little bit. They do that to balance the weight load off of it because the amp plate is off to the side. So make sure to give it a good little snug. Now, not going tight, just snugging it up a bit there on the pole. That's going to pull it up straight, and it's going to keep it from, you know, drifting on its own when you get the volume going on it. But outside of that, what a fun speaker. Let's take a listen to it. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down below. Please hit the like button. That's the one with the thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Remember, subscribing is really important. It's really great if you do that. I appreciate it so much. And leave comments down below. Like the video, don't like the video, write it down below. Got questions about Alto? Write it down below. I'm there for you. I try. See you in the next video. Like I say, thanks for watching. Bye for now.